Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Whew, sorry for being on a little late. Yow! Happy Tuesday. How is everyone's Tuesday going? I got the Affirmators deck and the Beyond Lemuria deck today, so we'll just see what discussions come up through those because my brain is just right now. So, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, those are good topics that they come up with. Yesterday was pretty interesting what came up in the Affirmators deck. The spontaneity, the levity, tact, personal growth, all wonderful, wonderful cards from yesterday. Just from the Affirmators deck. So remember, this isn't a card pull day. I do the guidance cards, but the Affirmators will give us something to chit-chat about, right? I do kind of miss those. Doing those, so I'm glad I'm kind of getting back into that area of the perspective once more. So nothing's just popping out, so let's just pull from the top. Excuse me. Don't follow someone else's path, follow your own. Okay. Brainwash might be a little harsh, but I liked it because, you know, TV. But don't follow someone else's path, follow your own. I think the reason I actually put this on here and the TV is because a lot of times we'll listen and we will hear what one person says and take it as gospel, right? Without looking into the facts, without looking to see if it is the truth or whatever. And in this day and age, with so much information, whether you think it's misinformation or not misinformation, we really got to find somewhere where that truth is, and somewhere in the middle is usually where it's at. So just before you get angry or upset or about something, just read about it, read up on it. So think positive thoughts. Think positive thoughts. Life can be weird, right? Life can be strange. Life can be all over the place. So think positive thoughts and trust it. Okay, trust the positivity in your thoughts. Don't be afraid to be magical, even if others might see you. All right, it's the same thing as dance like no one's watching. Good morning, baby sibling. So I'm glad you popped on because Laura's not here right now. So older sibling is busy. But yeah, think positive thoughts. Ding. See, that's why I use the light bulb. But yeah, don't be afraid to be magical, even if others might see you. I really like that card because I think a lot of times we hold back. Hufflepuff. This is just because I'm thinking of one of my favorite Hufflepuffs right now. And she's watching. So, yay. But anyways, hard work, patience, loyalty, justice, determination, and kindness. Yeah, you know what? That girl embodies them all. The one I was just talking to. So, but I think this also came up because badgers can be very fierce and protective. So, you know what? Just because you are a hard worker, patient, loyal, justice, determination, and kindness doesn't mean you can let people walk all over you. And that's actually for me because I let people walk all over me. But not so much anymore. But I'm learning, right? We all learn. But look how cute that badger is. I'm in love. Okay. Let's see. We'll do two more. Just chill. Don't be hasty or rush to judgment. I don't know what that's in regards to. My brain is just like, oh, but yeah, a lot of times we get into our own heads and I do it all the time. Overthink. I am a chronic overthinker, but, I've also learned in my own way that, my favorite saying right now, whenever I start to feel the world kind of caving in on me, is I will not surrender my power. And so don't surrender your power. Don't give in. And, that's it's something I have to consistently remind myself of because, hi, overthinker. So, and the last one, life is good if you allow it. Life is good if you allow it. you know what? I know that people sometimes might think, life is good if you allow it. What do you mean if I allow it? We have to change mindsets. It's not always easy. It can be very, very hard. I speak from experience. I know a lot of people that watch this show, would understand the same thing and the same ideas. But when we allow the good things to happen to us, we can raise that frequency. We can raise that vibration. We can raise all the different things that are coming at us, right? And just, this is why I'm so heavy into affirmations. And I know a lot of people may say, yeah, they don't work for me. And that's okay. Whatever works for you, go with it. But for me, that's what works. Even simply saying, I will not surrender my power. And actually, on that Post-it that I'm looking at right now that says, I will not surrender my power, right above it, I have fear, doubt, anxiety, overthinking, etc. on it. It's like to show me when all these things start happening, do not surrender my power. And a lot of times, if I feel like I'm being poked or something, just kind of stepping out of that box for a second, I'll just say, I will not surrender my power to you. You have no sway over me. Sorry, I just hit my window. So, we just, I know it can be hard, but it is very, very, it is doable. It just takes practice. And you can also use the other Post-it note I have right next to that one, right? I'm pointing at them. Choose to be happy. I choose to be happy, choose to be happy, however you want to say it, choose to be happy. And then I actually have a daily goal sitting right over there that says, be better than who I was yesterday. So that's my goal. I have learned a lot of lessons in these last few months in a very, very short amount of time, as I just mentioned. And they haven't all been pretty. They've caused some issues. But I learned. Instead of getting offended or defensive, I did my best to learn from it and to accept and own it. Just as an example, yesterday I was watching, I actually like watching Bar Rescue. I know it's not everybody's thing. He doesn't always yell, guys. He yells when people, just kind of are doing things they should know better. And it was the most recent one, and they went into this place where this woman was literally $200,000 in debt. Okay, her place is in Atlanta. I think it was called JJ's. Used to be Sandtown Pub, and the first guy that came in wasn't really saying anything bad. The chef, the professional chef that they bring in, right? He wasn't really saying anything. He was just saying, look, while you're sitting here doing this, you could be cleaning this kitchen because this kitchen's a mess. You're cross-contaminating all this stuff. You're going to get somebody sick, and that can mean problems. And the same person was always fighting with the owner's daughter when she would try to tell him, dude, what? It's like, you guys got to tell me all this stuff. He just would get so defensive so easily. And all I could think in my head was, who has hurt this person so bad that they have this huge chip on their shoulder? And I'm not picking on him because I used to have a chip on my shoulder. I used to have a huge chip on my shoulder. Like, oh, really? Because being defensive was my shield. There were so many other things in my life that I couldn't control that even when I was wrong, I didn't want to be wrong because it just made me feel shittier than I already felt. Even on my good days, you're just kind of like, oh, great. Someone wants me to be wrong. Yeah, but no, someone doesn't want you to be wrong. They're just telling you the right answer. Or they're trying to give you guidance, or they're trying to give you constructive criticism. And I would get defensive. So, these are the kind of things when we talk about, choose happy. I will not surrender my power. Be better than I was yesterday. I loved the cards that we had yesterday. We had 2 bonus cards from both the Affirmators decks that we did yesterday. Levity and Spontaneity. And then the other cards we had were Tact and Personal Growth. And that kind of fits what I was just talking about because, a lot of times we forget to have tact. Sometimes we get too comfortable with people and think we can just say anything, not realizing something might hurt somebody's feelings. This morning I had a text that from someone from the older sibling circle, and it just kind of caught me aback. Like, the things that I do would not protect my sister when I love my older sibling, you know? And it was just, it felt like being scolded. And I didn't mean, I don't know that I got defensive, but I was tired. And, because we had to get up early. Good morning, baby bear. And, I don't think I got super defensive, but I did finally stand up for myself and say, you know what, please don't correct me. It's like, I would never do something without checking in with her first, you know? And so, there's also those kind of things, you know. I hope I had tact, but in the meantime, sometimes we overstep and we don't mean to, and it isn't on purpose. And I know she meant well. I know that she was just trying to look out for her older sibling, but there are ways we can put things, and I'm learning that as I go, because I really am breaking down all these other walls, you know. And the reason I'm sharing this is because we all have these walls, you know. When you go through painful things in your life, when you go through things that upend you, whether you're a child, an adult, or, you know, maybe in the future it might happen, these are the things we need to think of. When we put up these walls and we start to break them down, we also have to remember that there are old habits that are attached to these things. They're like those boxes in the corner of the room, right? When you're breaking down these walls that you forget are there. Then you open them up and you're like, oh shit. You know, it's like, I forgot that was in there, and ew, all that gross stuff is in there now because I wasn't taking care of it. I wasn't maintaining it. And that's one of the things we have to learn, is that when we come back, you know, or when we come into a new way of thinking, a new way of processing and seeing what's in front of us through healed eyes, that, you know, we have to sometimes remember that these old habits are still in there and they need to be healed as well. So, you know, I know sometimes they sneak up on you and you don't expect it, but it happens. So, all right, let's pull. That was a pretty cute cat. One more. Ooh, all right, there it is. You know, you guys must think I'm crazy when I get shocked, but it's exciting when a card pops out because that means it's meant to be. Oh. Okay, I'm laughing because I know. If you know, you know. All right, and I'm not trying to be cryptic here, but it's kind of like an inside joke. But if you know, you know. The next two words I'm about to say. From the Lemuria deck, this card is Mount Shasta. Where Lemuria would be destroyed, its people traveled to other parts of the globe. Mount Shasta was one place they journeyed. There are tales of unusual phenomena and multidimensional beings living inside the mountain. This card is about origins, and the image is the seed crystal this deck is based around. There you go. Honor and look more deeply into your ancestry, both your bloodline and your etheric lineage. Do you have an affinity with any star beings? Connecting with them might allow you to greater insight into your traits, your strengths, and your challenges. The sacred places you feel attracted to may have an intuitive message for you. Now, you know, Mount Shasta was for baby sibling, but just the words that was kind of made me giggle. But so here's the thing. I know this one kind of steps to the side, right? Because, you know, I mean, it steps into the metaphysical box, but it also doesn't. If there's a place that you enjoy being, whether it's in nature, whatever it is, you know, go there. I'll be honest. Yesterday, I really needed to balance my energy. It was super crazy for the last couple of months, and I knew that the only place that I could really go that would feel like, I don't want to say protected, but that would feel like I could just breathe without having to feel like I'm fighting any of my bad negative energy off, without feeling like I had to, you know, shield myself or protect myself, whatever it is, was church. And so yesterday, I poked my head into the Catholic Church nearby, and I am not practicing any longer, but I still do believe in God, and it is considered to be a house of God. And I sat there, And funny enough, I felt like, because, you know, I am a polytheist, which means I do have other entities that I believe in, but I felt kind of guilty, right? So I felt them kind of coming through and saying, hey, this is your main dude. God is your main guy at the head of your table. And I felt myself really kind of just able to breathe. You know, I felt myself crying a few times. I'm getting very misty-eyed because it feels like everything is really starting to happen now. Like I had a vision of, you know, the engines, just like almost like a train engine, like the old ones, just kind of starting to choo-choo up, right? You could feel them kind of doing their chug, chug, chug. Like everything's picking up steam now. And I'm not sure how fast everything's going to go. I'm not sure if it's going to go fast or not, or if it's going to keep trickling by like it feels like it's doing now. But that's our journey. These are the things we connect with. I know people who feel like Stonehenge no longer holds a place of spiritual enlightenment for some people. And yet when I was there, I felt it. I could feel it. It was a place that truly, truly resonated with me. And it still does today. Same with Avebury, which was not far away. And those two places, they still resonate with my soul. Every time I think about them, I feel a little giddy. I feel like that little energy kind of perking up inside of me. What I found interesting, though, is that when I was about to leave the church, usually, if you've ever been into a Catholic church, and I'm not sure about other churches, so I'm just explaining in the Catholic church. If you've ever been in a Catholic church, usually by the doors, they have holy water. So, you know, you can dip your finger to your sign of the cross, and then, you know, you usually do it going in and you usually do it going out. But I don't know if it's because of COVID or what, but they didn't have any in this church. So I had to go all the way up to baptismal, which I have to say, I give credit to the couple that was there. And, you know, bless her heart, I don't know what was going on, but when she first got in the church, she was in tears. She was bawling big time. But then, you know, I got the idea from her. I walked over to there, and I'm not kidding you. There is no metal anywhere. Okay, I didn't really feel like I'd be shocked. I mean, I touched metal just getting in there and nothing happened, right? But I go up to the fountain, I put my finger on the water, and it zapped me. I mean, it zapped me like, you know, when there's a lot of electricity in the air and you touch metal and you're like, woo! But I knew that I was heard. And, you know, that doesn't mean that what I believe is what everybody else believes. We're all individual people. And we all do our own things. And that's why it's important to know what your lineage is. You know, what if you believe in more than just your ancestral human lineage. Some people believe that they have an ethereal lineage as well. And maybe we all do, right? Our souls go somewhere. I feel like I do. Baby sibling. So, just think about that. And if that isn't your cup of tea, but you're still feeling like you need to really kind of ground yourself and get back to, you know, the square root of you, who you are. Just find some place you love to be. You know, maybe it's the beach, maybe it's a park, maybe it's out in the forest, maybe it's for a drive, hiking up a mountain, whatever resonates with your soul and brings you closer to yourself. And if you choose your higher power, then, you know, I would say go for it, because now's the time. Because, you know, I think a lot of us need to get back to our basics again. And that was really what I had to do. And to be honest with you, a lot of times when we get back to our basics and we get back to the square root, I love that, of who we are, we are able to find what still needs to be healed. Because you're kind of getting back to the beginning and you're like, oh, okay. You know, and I've had to do that. That's why I'm mentioning that. And, you know, guys, I'm not saying these things and telling you what I've done simply based on the fact that I've done them. I'm telling you because I'm letting you know you're not alone. I've had to do this. I've had to do an about face and own a lot of shit I didn't want to own just because it's embarrassing. But I think the more we work towards it and the more we start to understand ourselves and forgive ourselves for what, you know, we feel we've done wrong, the easier it is to move forward and reopen the good vibes. You know, if you feel like you've done something wrong, I had to do this last night. I was so kind of nervous yesterday that I just kind of got a little uppity at one point in the day. And just because I was so excited about siblings stuff that was happening today. I was so excited for her, but then I was so nervous at the same time. It was just like, ugh, it was too much. And I just kind of, so I had to fix that. But I learned a term, and it says, please forgive my transgression. I ask that it be erased so I can go forward in love. Okay, so again, please forgive my transgression. I ask that it be erased so that I can go forward in love. And basically what that's doing is, no matter who your higher power is, if you ask for forgiveness, or, you, even if it's just your spidey instincts, sometimes with the spidey instincts, it can help that because you're giving yourself permission to let it go so you can move forward and go in love. We can't turn back time on things. And I had to do that. And I found this morning when I woke up, I wasn't feeling bad anymore. In fact, right after I said that, I finally fell asleep. So maybe that was what it was. But I did. I repeated it in my head a few times and then poof. So, I like this one. Look at this card. Balanced forces. The Lemurian people are said to have been androgynous, a perfect balance of what became masculine and feminine energy as it densified in physical form. This card invites you to look at masculine and feminine energy from a more balanced perspective. What needs to happen to form a more holistic and equalized foundation? For more masculine drive and focus, concentrate on goals, desires, and ambitions. If you want to engage more feminine energy for receptivity, trust, flow, and surrender, consider all the things you are already grateful for. Feel the warmth, gratitude, and comfort of knowing everything is divinely perfect and just the way it is. Balance, right? Balance can be crazy to kind of come across, because I think sometimes we try so hard to be perfect that we forget, my favorite saying that that baby sibling says to me a lot when I kind of beat myself up: progress, not perfection. Right? Progress, not perfection. And I have to repeat that to myself a lot. But I love it. I should actually put it on a post-it note on my wall. But I do love it because I think a lot of times we try so hard to move so fast in so many different directions that we forget that it doesn't matter where we're at. I think the first time she said it to me is when, I think the first time, I'll be honest, one of the first times she said it to me was, actually, because she says it a lot, and I've heard her say it a lot, including in her videos, but, Simplifying Mom on YouTube, by the way. But, one of the things I noticed is, or I remember, is it wasn't that long ago. I was finally really kind of coming to the point of true healing. And to be honest with you, there's probably always going to be something in my life that's going to come up and need to be healed. But all the big stuff had been healed. All the stuff that I carried for so long, all this pain, grief, all this other stuff that I carried but no longer should have been carrying. I was telling a friend the other day that I used to think that if I didn't carry the pain of, even like in my grieving alone of people that I love that I've lost, that I was betraying their memory. And then I realized, no, there is like an eternal candlelight vigil in my heart for these people that are no longer physically in my life. And I keep them tucked away there, nice and neat, and, just my little candles in my heart lit for them. And that's how I imagine it to look. Because if I hold the pain forever, it's going to fester and it's not going to do anything for me. So I've learned how to carry my story and honor my story, as well as respect their memories and carry their stories without carrying the pain. Now, that being said, when it comes to progress versus, progress, not perfection, when I finally got to that point where I felt like, ooh, I can move forward, the first thing I did was I started playing the what if game. And, what if I had done this sooner in my life? What if I had, why couldn't I have done this sooner in my life? I played that game too. And I told baby sibling, I said, I just don't feel like I'm as far along as I'd like to be in life. Where I feel so far behind so many people, especially at my age. And she just reminded me, progress, not perfection. And, you know, she told me to stop overthinking and stop playing the what if game and the why couldn't I have done this earlier game. And she just said, you're where you're meant to be. And I needed to hear that, because I've said that to myself a lot. But sometimes when somebody else says it to us, or somebody just mentions it, she said that she needed that line, that when we rehear it from somebody else, it clicks something in our heads. It makes something just go, oh yeah, that's right. You know, think positive thoughts. And, you know, the truth is we're not going to be positive every moment of the day. But how we react to things and how we push forward in certain situations is, you know, is what's the game changer, the deal, you know. I mean, if something has happened, don't worry about it, right? It's what did I say? Forgive my transgressions, please let me erase it, and so that I can go in love. You know, there's also a religious version. I cast this burden on the Christ within and I go free. You know, there's just all different ways that you can, you know, formulate these words, and so many different ways we can articulate what it is that we want to do so that we can move forward. You know, the truth in life is, at least in my world, there's always going to be something poking at us, right? Trying to bring us down. All morning, I just felt like I felt like I had a monkey on my back all morning, like a little monkey with devil horns on it. I mean, it just felt like everything I did was not right. But I chose to not surrender my power. And that's what I mean, I don't know how many times I even said that this morning. I will not surrender my power. And that's not a religious thing. That's just a people thing. Because your power is your kindness, your greatness, the love you have for people, the love you have for yourself. That's your power. And when you start to feel worse and worse and worse, you are giving your power to somebody else. And they don't deserve it. A lot of time, you know, some people might say, hey, you know, I'll give you a little bit of my power. But people who try to tear you down and break you down don't deserve your power. That's your power. And you can do whatever you want with it. You can wield it like a magic wand, or you can wield it like an axe. Be careful with that second half, because sometimes the axe swings back, or it falls off the handle and hits you. So just be careful if that's the route you choose. But when we choose to kind of go in love, even in the face of bad things, that doesn't, you know, and by the way, when I say that, that doesn't mean that you have to backtrack on people, okay? When you go in love, you're saying, you know what, I forgive whatever it is that I need to do so I can move forward. Going in love is so you can go forward, because there are going to be people in front of you that are going to need your light. One of the cards we got yesterday in the guidance cards was, you know, the lighthouse one, right? Be a beacon of light, because you never know who may need to see it. Okay, and I've used the lighthouse metaphor a lot of times, where it's like, you know, there may be people that keep crashing into the rocks, and you may come along and say one thing to them, and it's like, oh, they found the shore. They might be battered and bruised a little, right? Emotionally, ego-wise, whatever. But you help them find solid footing. You know, that's our goal, right? Is to find some kind of balanced footing, to find better ways to respond to things that hurt us, harm us, try to hurt us or harm us, and to remind ourselves that, hey, you know what? I'm not going to give that my power. I'm going to move forward this way. All right, so let's see what the Affirmators deck. Confidence. Dun, da, da, da. I love how it's a fridge. Okay, so the first thing that popped in my mind, because I saw the fridge and it reminds me of baby sibling's fridge. Yesterday, so baby sibling every night since, I don't know, I think since they were born, sings her boys, sings her boys a goodnight song. And a lot of times, I don't know if you're just sticking to one because Victor knew the words now, but she used to just make it up as she went. And I have had the joy of being able to experience this firsthand. And yesterday Victor had her record it. And I mean, she put it right in the comments, so I'm just going to say it because it was out there in the public, that she was really nervous about doing that, you know, recording it and then posting it. But you know what? I'm so proud of her, because that's confidence. And she has a beautiful voice, but that's confidence. That's okay, so Landon, she still makes it up every night, but Victor likes the same one. And you know, I know a lot of people will sit there and say, you know, people always have comments, right? I love the fact that she does this, because she is giving them something magical to think about as they go to bed. She's reminding them, hey, you know what? Today's the end of another day. This is how much I love you. Let's sing. Let's just, you know, send you off to sleep in a beautiful carriage of song. But she posted it, and I mean, I almost started crying last night when I watched this, because it was so sweet. They were singing together, you know, baby sibling and her youngest. And but what I also love is the fact that he asked her to put that on there, because he sees her talent, he sees her gifts, and it takes confidence to do that, you know. So in this moment, I take a step back and look at myself with the pride of a good mother. I see an abundance of abilities and talents that show up all the time in big and little ways. If I could stick myself on a refrigerator, I would. I would invite I need to stick my nose out of the refrigerator. I would invite all the neighbors over and say, look at that. Can you believe that? Or what an A+ that is? So again, sorry, I kind of tripped over that one. Confidence. In this moment, I take a step back and look at myself with the pride of a good mother. I see an abundance of abilities and talents that show up all the time in big and little ways. If I could stick myself on a refrigerator, I would. I would invite all the neighbors over and say, look at that. Can you believe what an A+ that is? Oh, that's cute. She said he was so excited to see all the comments this morning. They both, you know, go off and be the judge, okay? Because start your own band. You were ready. But I like the confidence card, because a lot of times we are afraid to toot our own horn, because we're afraid people might think, oh, you're so big on yourself. Oh, you're so this, you're so that. Just stop. All right. If you have a reason to be confident, be confident. You know, I know this is going to sound terrible. And I kind of said it in jest, not quite trying to be cocky or confident, but I was talking to one of my friends this morning, and I told her, I said, well, why don't you look up the spiritual meaning of this color, and like a metaphysical meaning of these colors that she loves? And she's all, I can't find it. And so she's all, maybe I'm wording it wrong. I said, or maybe it's just, you know, you're not meant to know yet, you know, the deeper meanings of these things. You know, just get yourself familiarized with certain things. And she texted me back and said, she's all, maybe you're right. And I, you know, she's very new to this metaphysical thing, but I don't know why I said it. I think maybe because I'm punchy. I just said, I got the message from Spirit, so I know I'm right. But I wasn't trying to be cocky. But in a way, I feel like that was kind of confident, because I almost didn't say anything. But I wanted, I know, see, baby bear, you're so funny. But I wanted her to know that when I give her ideas and I give her things, it's not always for me. You know, like I said, whether you believe in a higher power or not, there are gut instincts. You know, for those of you that do, you know, we have guardian angels, we have spirit, we have all these things. You know, whatever you want to call them. But there's people looking out for us. And they're guiding us, you know. I mean, everybody talks about the battle of good and evil, right? But nobody, you know, like religious people will talk about the battle of good and evil. And, you know, whether you're religious or not is a thing, right? And there's always something nudging you. Well, guess what's nudging you? I know. So I'm not here to convince you to believe that or not. That is your choice. But I think when we do wonderful things, when we do beautiful things, I think, you know, we should give ourselves sometimes a pat on the back. I mean, I have 2 people watching right now who have these amazing children. They push themselves, they work really hard. But it's not just because it's in their drive. It's in their DNA. It's in their upbringing. I have two fantastic moms watching right now who, bend over backwards for their children to make sure they know that they are worth it and they can do anything in this world. They can do anything in this life. And they don't stifle them by saying, oh, well, you're going to grow up to be that. No, they let them be who they are, which makes them work harder, which makes them want to work harder. They encourage them. They show them that love and that excitement when, I'm going to make myself cry because these are my nieces and nephews, but, I see this in them. And I am so proud of these girls because I haven't known one of them as long as her babies have been on the planet, okay? But I have known the other one, but I've watched them both raise their kids into these amazing human beings they are. And they do these things because they have that support. But I do want to say this, and that doesn't mean they're going to go off and say, hey, I'm the world's raddest mom. But you know what? I give you permission. If you want to put on Facebook today, I'm the world's raddest mom, well, you two might have to fight over that, but you're both rad. Do it. Your children's accomplishments are a reflection of their hard work, their determination, and their drive. But your children's accomplishments are also a reflection of you. How much you love them. And if you are a parent and you feel like your child just isn't, doing this or that or the other, it's okay. Just keep encouraging them. All right? I mean, sometimes I feel like I let my parents down. But my parents never knew my parents never knew the stuff I had gone through. And, I mean, my dad and I still joke. Look what would happen if I opened a book. I mean, I got out of high school with a B+ average and I barely opened a book. And I'm not kidding. I barely opened a book. Well, the first 2 years I had to, but none of it made sense in there anyway. But the point is that even if you don't feel like you deserve to toot your own horn, if you are a mom, a dad, or any guardian who is raising a child, and you know full well that you are supporting them emotionally, their well-being, their education, everything, then you are doing a bang-up job. I mean, bang up in a good way. You're doing a great job. No two kids are alike. Okay? Not every kid is going to come home with A+ across the board. But as long as they know they're loved, there may be something emotional they're going through. And that can actually stunt somebody's progress. But it's like baby sibling says, it's progress, not perfection. I mean, think about the kid who may be getting C's and B's, but they're passing all their classes. They're very proud of their work because maybe they've struggled in the past. And their parent or their guardian is saying, you know what, good for you. You raised your grades, you're doing great, blah, blah, blah. But then you have another kid come home with A's and maybe 1 B. It's like, well, what happened? So this parent or person or guardian is negating all the good work they did because of 1 B. And that's why kids start to stress out. That's why kids start to have a hard time. These are very well-adjusted, rounded kids, okay? Well-rounded kids. 2 of them have gone through a personal loss and grief at such a young age that could have stunted their ability to be as good as they are right now in school. But their mother made sure that was not going to be the case. She lets them have their emotions. They talk it out. They deal with it. It's not always pretty because parenthood is not always pretty. It's not just about giving birth and then, all of a sudden they're an adult doing amazing things. No, you are shaping a child. And I know this kind of went off the rails here when it comes to confidence, but this is all just kind of flying out of me. But that's what parenthood is. I've never been a parent, but I've watched. Okay? I mean, I feel like a supreme failure with my fur babies because 2 of them still don't get along. But you know what? The animal kingdom. But I know that if I ever had been looking at these two, including my own parents, I would take all the good bits and I would use that. I told baby sibling, I said, this is a while ago. This is a while ago when I thought I was going to have kids. I told her, I said, you need to write a book because I'm going to be calling you every 10 seconds if you don't. But now I get the joy of being an auntie. And sometimes that's more fun because, spoil them, sugar them up, send them home. But, although these kids are so good, they'll probably be like, no, mom says I can't have this. Like, all right, fine. Take the joy out of my life. I'm just kidding, guys. But no, what I'm saying about these two girls, and I'm focusing mostly on them just because they are watching right now. What I'm saying about these two girls, I am sure can be said about a lot of parents and guardians across the board. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever's raising these kids. And, the ones who are so proud no matter what they do. Because that's what kids need. Kids need that support. Kids need these moments. Sometimes we have to look a little deeper. We may not want to. But sometimes we have to look a little deeper and look between the lines of what might be causing issues if they are having some problems. And I speak to that from my point of view. See, when I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of the understanding of mental health that we have now. We didn't have a lot of the programs and whatnot, and a more open conversation about childhood traumas that we have now. And I'm not saying that people adjust better if it happens to them nowadays than they would if they were like me and they're now an adult. But we know how to handle it a little bit better. We know how to have these open conversations and to gently have these open conversations. And the more we do that, the more we can help people adjust, the more we can see kids through. I know people who had terrible childhoods and chose not to be that kind of person, not to be that parent. My dad is one of them. He had crappy parents according to him. So, and he's just like, what? My parents didn't support me the way I had hoped they would. There's not a lot of them that have good things to say about my grandparents, which is kind of sad. But my dad chose not to be that person. I know I really want to say it because I can hear her saying, me too, but you know who you are, and the people that know you know who you are. And I just want to say personally to baby sibling that you have overcome so many odds, and you are the parent that a lot of people struggle to be. And baby bear, the way you encourage your children, like I said, there's not more I can say about these two. And I'm not saying to butter them up, but what I'm saying is, and the reason I'm putting it into this confidence thing is I want them to know, because I'm not always sure that they're told. I'm not always sure that they know. I think maybe in their hearts they know, but I think they don't want to say anything because, I don't want to be that person. You have a lot of people bragging about their kids that should not be bragging about their kids. But these girls, they know if their kids are bad, their kids, they get dealt with. And unlike some people, when their kids are bad, it's like, oh, not my kid. My kid would never do that. And it's terrible. I mean, but parenting is like I said, you can write 1,000,000 books on parenting, but parenting is really an individual kind of thing. And I'm just grateful, like I said, to be able to be a part of their journey as parents, because it is a beautiful thing to watch. So I love you too, baby bear. I'm sorry. Apparently I'm making these girls ink. So I'm so sorry. But when I think sometimes too, when that happens, it's because they're not told enough. They're not told enough. And they should be. So if you know somebody who is a parent, or even your own parent, You know, I'm probably going to call my dad after this. Thank them. Thank them for what they did. And if you don't, then just take pride. She didn't do her makeup. See? Ta-da! I knew. I didn't know, but I know. Take pride in who you are as a parent. Okay? Take pride in all the things that you've done for your children and all the things that you continue to do for your children. Because they are your legacy. They are truly your legacy. And you know what? I'm just going to put a super kudos out there to all the parents out there who just let their kids be themselves. Who don't judge them, who don't hold them back, who just say, okay, that's what you're going to wear today? All right. I'm not sure I agree with it, but I mean, there is obviously a limitation. But, and most kids have to have some kind of uniform nowadays anyway. But, you know, each person is an individual. And the best that we can do for anyone, whether you're a parent, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, you know, if it's someone younger than you, the best that we can do, sorry guys, my glasses are driving me crazy, is just support them. Be there for them. You know, some kids are going to go off the rails and it's not even the parents' fault. But, because life happens sometimes. Or life happens and people don't know about things. But again, it's how we choose to react to things. It's how we choose to look at things. So, I'm being told to pick one more card. Oh my gosh, that's funny. All right. This is the bonus card, but I'm not going to pull one after it because, you know, I was told just to pull one more card. Patience. I think this is the perfect thing to end on. Congratulations, you've been granted more patience. You may start using it right away or much, much later. Waiting a long time is the sort of option now afforded to you by greater patience. Can you believe it? Look at this. You're still reading and you haven't started getting annoyed yet. Imagine how this patience will transform your life. Imagine how easy it will be to go to the post office. I mean, you know what? That's funny that they said that because I've had to go to the post office several times in the last couple of weeks and I can't believe how patient I've been there. You know, just kind of like, yeah, okay, you know, before it's just like, oh my God, what is taking so long? But, I think this is perfect. This goes right along with the subject. Parenting is about patience. You know, and these two girls, they explode with patience. So again, thank you to everybody who was not Baby Bear and Baby Sibling, who were sitting there listening through the Love Fest. But you know, on a side note, even though I was saying all these wonderful things about these girls, I want you to know that people see you. If you know in your heart that you're a good parent, that you're supportive, that you're kind, that, you know, your kids are growing up happy. Your kids are asking you to sing with them before they go to bed. Pat yourself on the back because you're doing a good job. If you feel like you're struggling, maybe you're a new parent and you just feel like you're doing everything wrong, give yourself some grace. Be patient. Okay? Be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day. And again, what's the favorite line for today? It's like Sesame Street, brought to you by the phrase, progress, not perfection. Just give yourself some grace, give yourself some patience, and just know that it's going to be okay. And don't be afraid to reach out for help. All right? That's a big thing. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. So, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Baby Bear, Baby Sibling, Baby Bear. I love you both. Keep doing your bang up job as moms. Keep being wonderful and amazing. And, yeah, tomorrow, Self-Care Wednesday. Whew, all the things. Self-Care Wednesday is tomorrow. Take care of yourselves, guys. You know, give yourself some self-love, grace, love, compassion. Baby Siblings going crazy with the emojis. I love it. Thank you. They make me giggle every time I see them. Like giggle, happy giggle. Thank you for bearing with me today. My brain is kind of all over the place. So, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. You too, Baby Bear. Thank you. yeah, have a great day. Tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Facebook Live. It is public. Anybody can watch. You can find me under Shelly Marie Lucas, or you can catch the uploaded version on YouTube right after. So, thank you, baby sibling. I love you both too, very, very much. I know, guys, like I said one more time, I know this felt like it was directed specifically at two people, and it was. But if you resonate with those thoughts that I was giving to these girls, then pat yourself on the back and have the confidence to pat yourself on the back. All right? Parenting is not easy. Parenting is not easy. I'm not a parent, and I know parenting is not easy. So imagine if you are a parent, right? Right. So, you're doing a bang up job. You're knocking it out of the park. Just give, like I said, sometimes just remember to give yourself some grace, give yourself some compassion and patience, and know that that too shall pass. Okay. I love you, baby sibling, and I am here if you need to talk. So anyways, have a great day, everybody. I'm going to upload to YouTube now, then share it to Twitter. So that's also how you can watch it under the Aloha perspective on YouTube, or GoalieFan1973 on Twitter, or Shell Bell's Quest. That's right. I have 2 accounts, one for mental health and one because I'm goofy. So have a great day, and I will talk to everybody tomorrow. Thank you for watching.